Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the next upcoming releases in terms of sandbox changes, quality of life changes, stuff like that. We're not really going to talk about story narrative in this one. I hope you guys do enjoy, and I strongly recommend that you hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 30k. We're just keep on growing every single day, and I don't want to stop now. I want to hit 30k before the end of the year. I know that's a big goal for me, but please subscribe, recommend this video to your friends if they want to just get excited for any new Destiny 2 content, and join our Discord because we have a strong community and we're trying to build an even bigger one. But other than that, let's get right into it. So with this video, like I said earlier, we're going to talk more about with Season of the Wish, the final shape, and post-final shape, like the quality of life, the sandbox changes, and stuff like that. Now, this leak is actually fairly interesting to me because it has some things that has been gotten some little bit of attention. Not too much, but I'm just going to go right into it, like how, for example, this leak that came out during a period of time, everyone was saying that there was going to be a new subclass. This leak already went off and said there wasn't going to be. This leak already pointed out, too, that Gambit wasn't going to see any massive changes except for a returning Dreaming City map, which obviously came true, and we didn't have any evidence at that time that Gambit was going to get any major changes. So already looking at that, we have some things that give this leak some credibility. But let's start off with Season 23. Season is going to mainly improve the core activity's health, but mostly strikes. Now, in terms of the delay, I've been told is that it's going to affect some things with the season. If the delay is to happen, which it likely will be, that there is being told around that a mid-season update or even a mid-pack, similar to how the anniversary pack came out during the delay of the Witch Queen, that they will put something in there. But unfortunately, this is not similar to the Witch Queen, as we knew the Witch Queen delay would happen prior to the reveal. And with the delay happening, if it is to happen during the time even after the reveal, we don't know if Bungie could even come along and make a pack like quickly in advance before the June, April, May release date. We don't really know how long the delay will be, but it's being told it will be 3 to 4 months if it's going to happen, or Bungie will keep the February release date and then have all these changes come out in the next 2 to 1 month. So again, time will tell. Again, I strongly recommend when you see my videos, take it with a grain of salt, but the delay is a big factor in terms of the Season 23 quality of life changes. Now, like I said, it's going to mostly focus on strikes, which we know. We know that Crucible already has now a huge team, and they've been working on things. We're getting this pack that might even arrive with the final shape now with the delay. So we're getting some things there, and we know Gambit's not really going to get anything too crazy. So looking at the strikes, what can we see? Well, it's being told that with the Cosmodrome, they're going to be overhauling it and giving it its own loot table, and a day and night circle will be fixed, and the rocket yard will be added to patrol. We know Bungie has stated a while ago, actually back in Beyond Light, that they actually want to expand the Cosmodrome and they want to put more into the story narrative in it, as this was the first place our Guardian was resurrected, and I think they want to focus more on this destination because they feel like a lot of people hasn't seen this destination as really a crazy destination compared to other ones. Now, the strike playlist will be improved a lot, and apparently the rewards will be a critical factor. Bungie is quote-unquote cautious when adding strike-specific loot. I know that has been a thing that the player base really wants to have. If you play Destiny 1, strike specific loot is just key to just go into playing strikes and just getting this loot that you only get from that specific strike. And I think it's being told around that they're unsure, but they have been talking about it a lot recently. And they've been talking about how certain activities, the player count might be low, and also the quit rate might be high. So they're not entirely sure, but they said they have added 3 new strike-specific weapons and some returning ones, and plan to add more in a mid-season patch if numbers look stable. These weapons will also have adept versions. Strikes will have secret activators in them to make the final boss harder and drop even better rewards. So this is an interesting, we haven't really heard anything on these activators yet, but this is something that I definitely could see happen to, get, obviously we know that a heroic strike playlist is coming in the future. I did say a couple months ago that it was planned to come in Season 23, but it might be planned to be coming in the final shape with everything. So they're just pushing some stuff back, but it doesn't stop some of these changes. Now, we know from previous seasons that Bungie can definitely add old content and content from D1. And with Season of the Chosen example, we had 3 strikes. We had 2 returning ones for the Cosmodrome and 1 new one. So Bungie is surely capable of returning and adding strikes, but we haven't seen a season add strikes to the playlist for a while. I think the last strike we really got was in Lightfall, and that was only one. But apparently it's being told that there will be 2 D1 Marge strikes added, and the Nokris and Zol strikes will be reintroduced. A Garden World strike will also be reintroduced, which is the Cyclops one, if you forgot. So 3 new strikes, which would be announced and revealed for Season of the Wish. Now, obviously, with this season, we haven't received any major changes if there is going to be strikes coming. We just know that the Citadel PvP map is returning and is confirmed by Bungie, and it probably might not even happen, but it also could happen, because maybe, I don't know if Bungie revealed the 3 strikes for Season of the Chosen a week or 2 weeks prior. I know one of them was leaked, but I could see Bungie also release this midway or in a pack of some sort if they so choose, because I know it's being told around that people have been working on old content returning, and I don't know if that's explicitly for the Final Shape or for this season. So again, there you go. Now it's also being told that the Garden of Salvation weapons will be reprised, and this has been all over the entire leak basis. If I was going to pick one leak for Season 23 that's everywhere, it is this. So it looks like that is definitely going to be happening. Again, time will tell. Now it says here Crucible will get 3 new maps, one on Earth, one on Europa, and one in the Pyramid Ship. And again, Blind Watch returns in Destiny 1, 5 new Crucible weapons, a new comp emblem, a new Ascendant exclusive shader, new Crucible armor, and a less ability game mode, and a 1v1 arena with uniquely modified maps. Looking at all of that, I know the PvP community would be like, no way Bungie would do that. I could see the exclusive shader, the new comp emblem, the new comp armor, the 5 new weapons happening, but when it comes to these maps, we are unsure, because obviously this was prior to Joe Black from revealing that there will be a map pack, and it could have been pushed back then. Again, I don't want to keep going into this, but we don't have an explicit release date on the map pack, and we don't even know if they were going to maybe release it in a mid DLC pack like they did with the anniversary. Time will tell with these. Let me know your thoughts on those. Looking at other things, the patrols will be having an increase in difficulty in a reprised weapon set, including Nessus and the EDZ, larger events added to Nessus, Europa, and the Cosmodrome, and like if you know the Neomuna one, and have their own loot. Nothing crazy, but maybe something like a wave-based mission similar to the terminal override activity. Something like that, and I think people would enjoy that because patrols are pretty lackluster. Adept patrol weapons acquired by completing Master Lost sectors. That could also obviously happen with new Adept mods. Increased damage against miners and orange bars. No champions. Essentially shoot to loot, but a smaller version have to shoot ammo for a few times for it to proc. Works instantly on special and heavy weapons, and then those suit of mods that apply stacks of elemental status on enemies would happen on each shot. Unsure, as it's a hard thing to understand what this really is. Again, it's a little bit sketchy, but would they put all that attention in the patrols? Probably not, but could you see it happen sometime in the future? Absolutely. With all the major life changes that they could add in the Final Shape, this is definitely one thing you could definitely see. I could say that. With some other things, obviously we know we don't really see any big Gambit changes happening. We do know that there's going to be weapons, I think, still going to be in there. We know that Gambit will be getting a returning Dreaming City map and the Tangled Shore map, but all the other changes that was going to happen, it looks like it's not going to be happening at all, which is just, oof. Now, we know that perk enhancement, legendary shard overhaul, we know that's be happening. It says that there was going to be a mid-season cosmetic pack update with stasis and strand armor ships, and we'll add a 6-man activity in the 9 realm again. We'll have more D1 and D1 armor and D1 weapons. So it might be a expandable pack on the anniversary. Maybe they'll expand the anniversary even a bit further. Who really knows what's going to happen if they do make a pack? If they do delay it to June, a pack is more likely, but yeah. Old D1 and D2 tracks will be added to the Orbit music. Volta Glass will have weapons reprised. There will be an elaborate secret that will tie into the reprised Volta Glass raid, a nod to the original fan theories. In-game LFG will debut with this mid-season update, which is crazy because at the time people said it was going to launch. This was fake because they have announced that the LFG was going to be coming out on the first day of Season 23, but then they just said earlier that it's only going to be a beta version, and then the true finished version will come out in July. So, again, this is something you should also look at. And then in-game LFG was so important that the final shape could have gone delayed until it was added. So that could be a key factor. With the final shape, they only have one thing saying that there is no new subclass, and this was the only leak at the time that had basically this evidence, because every other leak said there was going to be a red subclass. And again, we're not sure on this yet. Again, it's still so far away for us to make a entire entire straight answer on this one. Let me know your thoughts on it. So going further into some other stuff post final shape, we know that it's being told that there's no expansion in 2025. 2020, I just said 2020. I mean 2025. But it's instead that Bungie will be making some very major back-end changes to the server's game engine and tool sets while they work on the episodes. Changes have already been implemented since Beyond Light, and especially this year in Lightfall, and it's costed content development time, but major changes will be added in the next year or two. Some sort of streamlining how activities are built to decrease how they affect the rest of the game and to allow more frequent and different content. Newly upgraded Tiger will not only be used for Marathon and future Destiny projects, but Bungie plans to let other developers use it. This is also a very interesting thing here. Very, very interesting. New compression technology is one of the major things that they're working on. Also toying with procedural generation. I don't understand engineering shit, but it sounds like they're doing a lot, and it's a massive investment. So looking at all that, obviously we can't really give an answer on this because we don't really know everything that's going behind the scenes. But if this is what the future is looking like after the final shape and during the episodes, then obviously that's what they're doing. Plans for Fallen Houses, Cabal Legions, and new Hive Gods. Already we know that with the Echoes, with the Heresy, and with the Revenant, we know that Vex will be a major enemy. We know Scorn will come back, and we know Hive is going to have a spotlight in these next couple of seasons. Episodes, we know that the Vex will be the primary enemy and has breached the garden and getting massive amounts of energy, being able to result into understanding paracausality after the final shape. So looking at this, we know that the Vex is going to be the first major threat that we're going to have to deal with after the expansion. These things that really, make sense to all of us. Stories will be told to be more of a single story, not really looking at about continuity between these 3 episodes, more singular episode type activity storylines with the acts. So again, looking at that, they're not really going with continuity in terms of each episode, so it's kind of single standalones, which you obviously get. The Destiny 1 remake was discussed, but Bungie prefers to put all Destiny 1 content in the D2, and I think that's what they're heading in the next couple of years if they're going to aim on that. An Exotic in Season 23 was conceived after 3 Bungie devs got extremely drunk at a game and started throwing out ridiculous ideas. We don't know if this is the Dungeon Exotic or if this is Dragon's Breath. It could be Dragon's Breath, but it is something interesting to look at. Several devs went home with development copies of Destiny 2 on the Switch. There was no possible world where it would run properly and was abandoned, so this is also a concern if they were ever going to bring other things of other games or of other type of their games onto other devices, some things like there. So just to be aware of that. But looking at all that, we are seeing some huge major changes coming out in these next couple of years. Time will tell what Bungie plans to do. Again, I am excited to see what they do. Season 23 looks like to be a big one, but obviously we have to take those changes with a grain of salt. We have a lot of changes coming in Season 23 already. I don't know about the strikes. I don't know about the core activities, but I do know that Bungie did say a while ago that they plan on bettering the health of those activities prior to the final shape, and that the season will focus on it. So we'll see how much content is put into those and how much is actually put into the narrative and the story content. So obviously we have to give it a while until we see those changes. And then looking at the final shape, looking at post the final shape, I can say that those changes look pretty realistic to me. Again, I know they've been working behind the scenes a lot on their engine, looking at what's going beyond the Light and Dark saga, how the episodes would actually be affected by it, and how content would be put back from Destiny 1 into D2 if they were going to do that, and maybe vaulting content was going to be changed a little bit. I know they said no on vaulting, But Bungie, there are people saying that they might involve stuff that aren't with expansions in the future. You know, time again will tell on what Bungie plans to do, and we just have to wait and see what we are, you know, heading towards. But again, I hope you guys are hyped and excited for these next couple of releases. I'm so excited for Tuesday, and I cannot wait to play Season of the Wish. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.